The man in charge, though, at every checkpoint fastest was our current leader, Giniel de Villiers, last year's runner-up to Luc Alphon. It looks as though this year he is determined, like the rest of the Volkswagen team, to lead from the front. He increased his advantage out front. He was 6.5 minutes ahead of Peter Hansel, 9 ahead of Alphon, and 12 ahead of Alataya. And today, not much, it seemed, was going to put him off his stride. If anyone in the Mitsubishi camp can figure that they have had more than their fair share of troubles, it's Hiroshi Masuoka. Again, the car stopped and up on the jacks, and again the reason, the need to change a clutch.
Stay on the top.
Carlos Souza battling through with the buggies in the dunes. Volkswagen driver led early on. And in this onboard camera you can see exactly why drivers are reluctant often to drop the tyre pressures for some dunes, because big rocks and sharp stones can lurk just over the next brow, and deflated tyres running very low pressures for the sand simply won't survive. Carlos here saying the tyre pressure's okay, and next time we get to the sand we'll change the pressure. Jean-Louis Schlesser in his two-wheel drive buggy is always going to be at a disadvantage in the big dunes. Today was a stage that many feared would be very sandy indeed, and in fact the tracks chosen by the organisers were about 2/3 like this, and that allows the Schlesser Ford buggy to keep the pace up and to keep the pressure on. He'd end up 6th on the stage, others not quite so fortunate. This is Isabelle Patissier. Is there some space on your side? There's someone behind. She pulls over. The sentinel pressed on the horn button of the car following, alerting her to their presence. Ivan Muller with Dakar veteran Ronnie Metch. Sends very soft here, it's not so easy, and there you go, he says. Well, if somebody like Metch can get stuck, what hope is there for the less experienced drivers? Many will have spent a lot of time looking for or handing out help in today's dunes.
In the beginning it was very, very slowly in the rocks, and the first dunes were really, really soft. Unlike they said in the briefing, you know, in the briefing they said the second dunes were very soft, but the first dunes were very soft. So we stopped to deflate for the second dunes after we nearly got stuck on the first ones. And then the second ones, I mean, it was really easy to pass. But the driving was really difficult, a lot of steering to do in the rocks.
A third stage win then for Giniel de Villiers in the Volkswagen. Peter Hansel and Alphon leading the charge for Mitsubishi, and Alataya having a great day in the sand as well. And that means that the South African continues to hold the overall lead, but Sainz plummets by an hour. Now he's chased by 2 Mitsus. Eric Vigarou invites us for a guided tour around his Pro Truck Chevrolet pickup. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Chevy Pro Truck. First thing we have to do, of course, put the safety belts on and then put on the steering wheel. Well, we decided to go for a really straightforward dashboard. When you're racing, it's better to concentrate fully on the track in front of you and have only the essential information on the dash. So you've got 3 indicators, rev counters, which allows you to take care of the engine. The cap indicators connected to the GPS. That's very important. It tells my co-driver which cap I have to follow. I just have to turn to be on the right cap. That's the right compass point heading. Third thing we have here is the speed indicator, very important this year because the organisers have established very strict speed limits, and when we go through villages we have 30 or 50 km/h speed limits that we have to obey. Then we've got the gearbox selector, it's semi-automatic. And that's the button for the Sentinel, very important safety feature to warn riders we're coming, particularly when we're in the dust. And here, like on a plane, the engines start with the emergency kill switch. Here in the middle of the car we got two very old-fashioned instruments, the automatic deflating and inflating systems for the tyre. Looks pretty provincial, but in fact it works very well. Two simple taps, very simple, very reliable, we've never had problems. And I forgot the most important thing, the windscreen wipers. And they're for a windscreen that we don't have. If today's marathon stage was going to be tough for the bikes and the cars and a long day in the saddle, imagine